Hello, welcome to this Facebook Live. And I'm just going to wait for a few people to get on. Topic is, who should you tell your goals to? Intentions or New Year's resolutions or anything that you want in your life. Some people have firm ideas about what you should do. Provide some alternative ideas about how that should play out or how that could play out for you. So I'll wait a little bit, see how things come along. Hello, Marina, good to see you. If you have any comments or questions as we go through, by all means, let me know. Hi, Julie, wonderful to see you as well. It's all about what we share with people when it's important to us. If you have something you want to accomplish or something you want in your life that you don't currently have or something you'd like to start, who do you let know? Hi, Bob, wonderful to see you. Mel, great. So when you do have a New Year's resolution or a new project you want to start at any time of the year, it doesn't have to be a New Year's resolution, obviously. Who do you tell? I mean, who do you blast it over social media? Do you tell your partner, your spouse, your family, close friends, distant friends? Do you have a coach or a counselor or starting a fitness regime? You need to tell your personal trainer or somebody. But other than that, when does it stop? When do you stop telling people what you want? Oh, my phone, I was going to record it too. My phone, move this out of the way. Nice. So, Marina, I'm an open book and perhaps talk too much. I tell everyone everything. Yeah, you're going to want to be mindful of what you share because sometimes it's an important point because I'll give you 20 years I've been in the space of trying to help people live the life they want to live, whether it's through their personal health or later on in my career, more recently in my career, making sure that I can help them become resourceful in life the way that they need and the way they want, whatever their project is. Hi, Sherry, great to see you too. So first of all, let people know and tell people that you want them to hold you accountable. Because you tell a whole bunch of people what it is you want, but you don't want them to ask you about it, or you don't want to give them permission to offer suggestions, then don't tell them. Simple. Now, there needs to be obviously the disclaimer is, if you're going to do something in your life that's going to immediately impact the people in your circle, I recommend sharing that. You want to have open communication, open disclosure with the people in your life that are important to you and if you're important to them. So obviously that for sure. If you have, let's say, a family member that might not be fully supportive of a new business you want to start, if they're not immediately affected by your decision, you get to decide if you want to tell them what you're doing. Because until you have some proof in the result of a new business, you're going to be fighting a naysayer or someone who might not be fully supporting what it is that you want. And you're going to want to place your energy there. It's going to be a distracted energy. If you have 100% of energy that you can give over here, and you have to spend 20% of it over there dealing with people who are a pain in the behind, you just wasted 20% of your energy. You don't want to do that. So that's one thing in terms of accountability. And the other one is, how does it feel when other people know what it is deeply that you want? Some people have no problem, or you might have no problem letting everyone on Facebook and social media know that you've started something or that something is important to you. We could use a health goal. If New Year's comes along and say, I want to lose weight, gain weight, improve my fitness, be able to play this sport better, whatever it is. If you want that and you blast that on social media and you're super excited about it, have no problem, then great. No problem at all. And if you can handle people offering their unsolicited advice or maybe opinions about whether you should or shouldn't go where you're going or try what you're trying, if you can handle that, more power to you. If you want to not deal with the potential BS, then don't. Keep it to the people that can help you achieve what it is you want to achieve. Hey, Daniel. Oh, man, good to see you. Great. So if you let people know that they can actually be a part of what it is that you're starting. So if you have a goal or if you have a resolution, you have a big deal, you have something you want to start, and you let people know that they can be a part of that thing, that project, that, let's just say you want to change how you eat. And that's going to involve people around. If you have a family or a household, other people living with you, it's going to involve them. So they need to know, for sure. But does your cousin's best friend's daughter's removed nephew need to know when all they're going to do is send you all kinds of information on why you should never do that? No, they're not helping you get that. No, they might in their own way say, well, I just look out for you and I just don't want you to run into a problem. I want you to be healthy. That's fine. Usually that's a little misguided, a little bit tricking themselves. But so dealing with all of that is a part of it. But tell people who can help. Gather a group, a team, a network, a culture of people around you that are in a position to be able to meaningfully contribute to your success. Sometimes those people are going to be people that might not agree with how. Amy, great to see you. And they may not, Matt, they might not agree with how you want to get there, but they support you achieving what it is you want. Let's say you want to buy an income property. And you say, Matt, this is what I want, and I want to let you know. I'm like, I don't have any experience in doing that. I mean, if you want to do that, I think that's awesome, great. You want to talk to someone who's qualified to be able to provide advice for you. And so that's what you want to do also. If you have a goal, if you have a resolution, you have something that you want to achieve, you want to solicit information and advice from people who actually have a meaningful contribution to your success and can help you navigate. I mentioned the business earlier. If you want to start a business, you can tell people, yeah, I'm starting this new business, really excited about it. And then, as Ormarin, you mentioned a few minutes ago about unsolicited advice can be upsetting, and absolutely can be upsetting, especially when that person doesn't have a sense of what it takes to succeed in that endeavor. If they've never started a business, or they have some cousin who started it once and failed, and they says, oh yeah, don't ever get in business because it's risky, you don't need that person to help you succeed. And don't waste your time with it, truly. Matt, groups according to specific interests so as to limit the less desirable negative feedback. 100% awesome. Create an environment, people around that are fully in support of what it is you do and can help, or they're just like, I fully support you, and that's great, and I'm going to be your cheerleader. That's a good person to have around. They don't need to know, they don't need to have the expertise to specifically help you achieve it, but they can give you a pat on the back. They can celebrate when you do, because that's a good thing, right? Hey, Kyle, Janice, great to see you guys. Lynn, bonjour. Communities, Rebecca says, meaningful contribution to your success you should listen to. Yes, who you should listen to. Big deal. You can have well-meaning friends that have no level of expertise in what it is you're getting into. And they can be your friend. They can be wonderful people. And sometimes it's going to require you to step up and say, I love you, you're my friend, and this is where I need you to be, and your input is appreciated because you wouldn't give me input if you didn't care in some way, but I'm looking for input that's going to help me succeed. And sure, there's going to be navigating success in that and roadblocks and a few things that are coming along that's going to be a bit challenging. Absolutely, almost anything you start, it's not going to be clean all the way. You're going to run into issues, and I got a note here. You're going to run into issues about how that comes along. You might have a roadmap that says, this is what I'm expected, and whoop, you have a detour and something comes up and you have to navigate that. And who do you tell? Someone who understands how to read the map and change it even. That's who you tell. This is what I'm dealing with. I've not dealt with this before. What do you think? Someone who's done it before, someone who's been down that path. They understand the process of that. Hi, Tori. Nice to see you. Rebecca says, sometimes the raw or outside perspective I love. So she says, sometimes when she asks me about her arting, there are advantages and benefits of asking these kinds of people for that kind of advice. Absolutely. That's a great point, because I'm not a visual artist. Like I you know, I will not draw. I know my area, and I don't have other areas. I don't try to enter into them. So when Rebecca asks me about my thoughts on what she's working on as a piece of art, I'm not coming from a knowledgeable place of what it should look like. I'm like an end user. I can say, well, I mean, this is kind of maybe my flavor or my taste, but boy, I don't know how to blend your colors or add this over here. I have no idea. And then she has to take that as that's my feedback. And she would have a reason why that. Now, sometimes it does work out that it works out okay. And other times, like, yeah, no, you don't. You don't know what you're talking about. This is how it's actually supposed to be. And if I did it your way, then this is what would work out. And I got to be cool with that. And so another thing is, when you bring people into your space, then if they're okay with you not listening to their advice, that's a good thing. Someone who has your best interest in heart, but not their ego or their vulnerability so much that they're going to be criticized. They're going to feel criticized if you don't take their advice. Okay, that's important. You comment, so Rebecca says, he often criticized my third infusion of tea. Yeah, third infusion Japanese green tea is just, I'm over it. It's not, it doesn't work so much. Matt, have you ever found that you pivot completely based on that raw input and actually thought an input was the most valuable? Absolutely. So there can be times when the feedback or input that you've received is completely counter to what you want or what you're going to do, and that person helped you navigate a big boulder on the path. And that can even totally shift your focus and say, wow, good thing I heard that, good thing that person told me. And then there's time, and you're going to have to judge when that is. And there's also that kind of feedback can spur you on a little bit. Like, I'm a little bit like that when sometimes when someone says, oh, you can't do that, or now there's no way you're going to be able to get done, I just dig further. I almost use that as fuel, use that as the fire, and really get excited and go further. Now, there are times it works out, there are times it doesn't. But I remember I was told very early on, as a late teenager, I was maybe 19 or 20, that I couldn't achieve something because for all kinds of reasons. And I just ignored it. I says, in my own mind, okay, thanks. I'm absolutely doing this. And I did. A year and a half later, I achieved what I wanted to achieve. I didn't get any recognition or acknowledgement, though at the time I would have been kind of nice. But inside myself, I did it for what I wanted to do anyway, because it was a personal goal that I wanted to achieve. I wanted something, and I worked for it. And it was not convenient, and it was a pain. I had to change things around, but hugely worth it. And it led to my actually involvement in the industry of health, fitness, and coaching, and so on now. So there is a point when if you want to let everyone know, and the naysayers all come out of the woodwork, and you use that as fuel, power to you. No problem there at all. And Lynn, when it expands your perspective, and that can be if you have more context if you're seeing more of the map, then that can be very useful, so long as you know where not to go and where to go. And sometimes we take a detour and like, oh, geez, that wasn't a good call, and you learn from that perspective. But when you can expand your perspective, that's useful, provided that's the way that it's shared. If it's shared in a way that says, this is my perspective, this is what I offer, you might want to be mindful of this little part on your path. I don't want you to run into a problem. It happens a lot with food. People change their diet, and everyone and their puppy has an opinion about what people should be eating, or what supplement they should or should not be taking, or who knows. It's all over the place, and you can find research on anything you want to find research on. So in that area, someone might say, oh, I started this diet. I'm not going to promote any particular diet, but he started this diet, and people say, oh, you should never do that. You're going to get kidney problems, and it's not balanced nutrition, and you live in this part of the world, and all. You got to take all of that. And that's why I say if you're dealing with that and you're letting the general public know what's going on, you're going to be filtering that kind of energy coming at you as well. But that can develop a thicker skin, and you have to have a thicker skin if you're starting new things. Avery, great to see you. Hi, Ryan. Nice to see you on here. Sherry, lesson learned when I shared my plans to do a prolonged fasting with others who are not knowledgeable fasting. Oh, yes. Boy, that's fasting is a fascinating. Everybody's opinion about fasting. I've experienced that I have more fear of failing when I share my plans. I wonder if this fear, which is admittedly somewhat ego-driven, keeps you from manifesting. I like that, because if we have hesitation or fear when we start, and then we have a lot of people telling us reasons why we shouldn't do it to begin with, is that really helping? Like, where the desires to, for example, for fasting for you, is if it's coming from a place of, this is something that I need to do, I'm going to do my research, I'm going to make sure I elicit the advice from people who know how to do it healthily and how to navigate as needed, everyone else can leave the room, right? And so you only share with the people that can genuinely help you. You're not going to have to deal with all that stuff. And the people that can genuinely help, they've done it, or they've helped other people do it, so they understand all the implication of that. But definitely a point about fear. I like that. And Rebecca, I share big plans as a way to help keep me to it. Yeah, that's the other part of that. If you tell the whole world you're doing something, now the whole world knows you want to do it. That's the other part. And I don't think that there is one strategy for everybody. I really don't. There is a time when we need to blast on the mountaintops and say, this is what I'm doing. Absolutely. And there is a time that is not the best way of going about it. Especially if there is a Jam, hello, thank you. Jamie, thanks for coming out. There is a time when, if you have an identity around a behavior or your circumstance in life, and you're trying to change that, and you're trying to modify your identity as well. So let's say you're always known as the really nice person. Okay, so I'll use myself as an example. Get along with everybody. It's always great. Never really pissed anybody off that I know of, and if I didn't do it meaningfully, or rather I didn't do it intentionally. But then it got to the point where, okay, Matt was low down on the totem pole of priority, and he put everyone else more important. And that's fine if you want to help people, that's fine, obviously, but it sacrificed the quality of my own life and the goals that I wanted to achieve. I just put everyone else first. Now, that was a self-worth thing. And there are other things going on, of course. And then I started turning that around in my 20s. I said, well, you know what? That's not working for me anymore. I want to achieve something different. I want to have a different kind of life and be in dynamic in relationship with people. And so I started changing, and that wasn't received well all the time. Definitely had some throwback on that. And that's a reality that you're going to do. So that's why I say in identity, when your goal is attached to who people know you as, you're going to get some throwback regardless. You start changing anything. If you're always known as, the person who, the bigger guy, the bigger girl, and you want to change how much body fat you have in your body, you're going to have to also change your own self-talk. You're not the bigger guy, the bigger girl anymore, right? You change the way you're viewing yourself and how that works. And that's why I would say, when you're telling people about what you want, if they support that change, there's less for you to fight against, because it's just more fuel for that, which is a very healthy thing. Jam, thanks. Great. Matt, I found working in a very positive coaching environment. Receptive to all types of feedback that your growth is exponential. Yes, though that's contingent upon the coaching piece, not criticism. Yeah, that requires skill there, Matt. I don't know what the environment you're talking about there, but there's definitely a part to that is a matter of providing feedback and being in a kind of communication relationship that allows for genuine growth, and not just someone getting their feathers ruffled if they're listened to or if they're not listened to. Totally important point on that. if you can have people around you that either have great communication skills or they're learning great communication skills, and they want you to be in that place of understanding. And everyone, when all ships rise, and when all ships rise, it's a great thing. RBC, fantastic, Matt. That's awesome. I'm glad. I do see almost a comment there that got filtered by there. Camellia Teas. I want to know about the jelly bean diet. I've never heard of the jelly bean diet. I think that that might be it's a myth about jelly bean diets, and if they really exist or not. It might be made up. It's possible. I know someone tried it once, but I'm not sure how successful it was. Nudge, nudge, obviously. Kevin, hey, great to see you. Okay, good to see you on here. Yeah, so that's in terms of what you share and how you share it, and the types of people that are around you. You know, there are 8 components to healing, resolving, and creating a great life, and one of those is environment, and the people in your environment, and the expectations of the people in your environment and yourself, and what do they really want for you? Like if you're okay, so let's use this is a great example. Green jelly beans. Oh, and if you had, Kathleen, great to see you. If you had a strong desire to change the story of your family. So let's say your family, a lot of it was, in our family, these are the jobs that we get. And this is just how it works. So you better fall in line because this is just what we do. It doesn't matter the job, whatever the story is, right? And you say, well, actually, that's not really how I want to run with things in my life. And if you want to change the dynamics of that, you're going to be working on it. And there's going to be an uphill battle. But when you work on desire and you work on expectation and you change your environment, whether it's your physical environment or the people in your environment, and you change the attitude you have around what you're allowed to have in your life, you will only have conversations with people that say, you know what, that's a healthy thing. If you want that thing in your life, you go for it. There are way too many stories, whether you want testimonial stories, people that have gone on to do what they consider great things, whether it's written up in the newspaper or it's just some guy down the street, or someone like Oprah Winfrey that starts and you end up over here. I mean, how many stories that we can think of? There's too many, which is great. I'm so happy there's that many. But you have to decide that that's going to be you. And who you let in on that inner conversation. I mean, I have things working on. I don't tell anybody. I mean, Rebecca knows. But it's just, if they can help, fantastic. Great. They'll know. And if I'm starting a project, so personally, this is me, it may be different for you, but for me, if I'm starting a project that I'm still unsure about, how am I going to get this done? I'm not quite sure it's going to be successful, but I really want to get it done. I might tell more people about it, the more the momentum's building. So if they are a bit of a naysayer, if they have some challenges for me, I'm coming from a place of experience. Say, yes, you're spot on with that for sure. That's something I need to look out for. Or, yeah, I did come across that, and thankfully I was able to navigate it. So now this is where I am. Or I haven't hit there yet. And, I have some great people on side that can help me navigate that. And if someone just wants to be a supporting, force like the cheerleader I mentioned, then awesome. Really, really appreciate that. Or, how does one handle feedback while teaching? Feedback from a student in the moment. I would have to say that, because teaching is a unique thing. So I'm not a trained teacher. And Alberto, thank you. It's great to see you on here. So when someone is a trained teacher in an environment, the dynamics are a little bit different. I can talk to you about a sort of a coaching mentorship relationship, but I don't know too much about the teaching dynamic, whether it's a one-on-one or one-to-many, small group, 4 or 5 or 10, or a class of 30 or 40. It's a very, very different dynamic. And then the age of the student, there's going to be a nature of power that the teacher will have and the student will have, again, based on the dynamics of the relationship and the age and how long they've been with each other and all that sort of thing. But what I would say from feedback while teaching is what the student's saying, is there truth to it? And if there's truth, then you just take the truth. And whether you like hearing it or not, you just separate your ego. If you really want to become better, the vulnerable side of you that doesn't want to hear what's true, you say, you know what, but this is true. I need to look at it in order to become better. Ashwin, great to see you on here. Great, thanks. And Lynn, who is a trained teacher as well, you take it with an open mind, but take that feedback from where it's coming from. Right, great. So that student is also coming from a place of perspective. And they may have a limited perspective. I mean, someone might not want to learn verbs. And you're like, well, yeah, you kind of got to know those. So that has to be part of that. I mean, as a teacher too, you need to be able to say, this is what we're doing and this is important because, and then you give the reasons why. And if it's an adult student, then you can have that kind of adult conversation. If it's a youth, teenager, or a younger student, then they'll have to let you navigate that because that's not my strong suit. I know I have areas, but that's not one of them. So I'll leave that to somebody else to be able to navigate with you. Thanks for the question, though. All right, so how long was this? 25 minutes, 26 minutes already. I already covered a lot of stuff. If anyone has any thoughts on who you tell your goals to, or even the conversation to have once someone says, you know, I don't think you should want that, because that's a whole kicker. You know, what if you want to achieve something? What if you're in a relationship with someone and you say, this is what I want our relationship. I'm talking about a romantic relationship now. Or you could do it with a friend too, doesn't matter. This is what I want our relationship to develop into. And the other person says, no, that's not what I want. You need to navigate that. You know, and I'm certainly not a relationship expert or relationship coach, so I'm not, deal with that the same way. But if it's something that you want and you develop healthy communication patterns with the people around you, it's going to be all right. You're going to work out. Oh, great to see you. Do you think that teaching is the same as coaching when it comes to youth? I see them differently. I see coaching as, well, they play with each other, right? So a teacher, in my mind, strictly teaching is disseminating information. Coaching is bringing out someone to be able to rise up into what it is to be able to succeed, whatever that is. Now, formal school teachers absolutely do both, for sure. There's a time when they're just teaching a lesson, and then there's time when they're trying to bring the child into becoming more aware of the dynamics of what the lesson material is. So there is a similarity. For adults, it's a little bit different. So again, teaching. So I might say, so if I'm giving a workshop, part of it is teaching. I'm just saying, this is a block of information, and here you go. And I'm just giving it to you, hopefully in a way that is comprehensible, and then you can work it in, and then when we do apply it, it's going to be easier to apply it. You know, I work with 3 areas of, I call it the sustainability triad, meaning that you can maintain progress over and over and over again when you use these 3 things. One is insight, so new information. Implementation, which means that you apply what it is you're learning. And integration. The integration piece is you choose, ideally, to make sure that your actions become habits that give you the results you want. You don't need to have things become habits and not giving you results. So the stage 1, insight, new information. Stage 2 is implementation, or taking action, applying what you know. And stage 3 is integration, integrating what you've been applying into a habit. And then those 2 points would definitely be, the stage between those 2 would be, okay, make sure what has been working. So you need some metrics to follow. You need to know what result you're getting, and then apply that as a habit. Right? So those are the 3. So in adults, the dynamic of the teaching is different. Question from Rebecca. How can you delicately or gently decline or respond to advice from unsolicited or support that is uninformed? Well, I mean, Monique, hello. Annie-Claude, hello. Michael, hello. Great to see you. Unsolicited support that is uninformed. I mean, for me, I just say thank you very much. Thank you for sharing. I'm not, Depending on the nature of where it's coming from, you might want to get into more of a dialogue. But if it's from someone who doesn't know about the topic area that you're getting into or you're exploring, anything more than that is just conversation for the sake of having conversation. Say, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Thanks for taking the time to give me feedback. And then you move on and talk to someone who does know about the area. Lynn, I think from what I hear from you is that you tell someone who will give you what you need, support, challenge, reminders. I think that's a really, for sure, that's an important point, Lynn. You really want to make sure that, let people into your game when they can help your game. Everybody else doesn't get in. Now, again, like I said before, if you like a bit of that fuel, if you want a little of that battle to get your butt off the couch and do whatever you need to do, then include those people. But Lynn, yeah, for sure, I'd play there. Lynn, Matt, yes? What can I do for you? Denise, hi, great to see you. You're very welcome, Lilia. Thanks for coming out. Deidre, nice to see you on here. Lynn, did you have a question? I will keep going. And then when it comes up, it comes up. Great. You understand a little bit of my background so to understand my perspective, where I come from I come from obviously with a bit of a, it's further back, okay. Was with my cognitive bias, my mental bias is around people learning how to support themselves. And that takes a period of time. There's going to be a time when we absolutely don't get it right. And other people point it out to us. And we need that. We need to have our wrists slapped. I think we're too afraid sometimes to tell people what they might need to hear because we don't want to offend them. We don't want to be mad at them or whatever, or mad at us or whatever it is. And, aside from being being unkind, there's a difference between being straight and being unkind. And there are some people that are unkind while they're being straight because they think that's cool or they're tough or whatever, and that's just ridiculous. It's not necessary unless someone else is a big jerk off and need to deal with that. But in a reasonable situation, you don't need to do that. You can just be straight. Great. Okay, thanks for answering. Yeah, wonderful. So that's when someone is providing feedback for you that you really do need to listen to, especially if they know what they're talking about. What's their track record in the area that they feel like they want to give you your advice? I just don't share my advice for areas that I don't know. I just don't. It's messy. It's not helping them. It's certainly not helping me any. I need to feel like I know any better than any of that. That's for sure not going to help anybody. It's a waste of breath as far as I'm concerned. Kind feedback. There's years ago, I don't want to go on and on here. I do want to know if you have comments or anyone has a question or anything, please let me know. I want to make sure I get them all in for sure. Because it's an important. I see the people that start the year, this New Year's with a desire to achieve something in life. They have a quest. They feel like I'm either here for something and I want to accomplish or I want to experience pleasure in my life. I want to experience joy, love, peace. I want to conquer something huge within me, whatever that is. And then keyboard warriors come out and tell you it's impossible. That's ridiculous. Don't let people do that. I know. I mean, if they're coming from a place of knowledge, then take the knowledge and it's valuable. Say thank you, and that's it. If they're not, just honestly, don't waste your energy on these people. People just want to fight online, or they want to fight in person. They want to verbally battle with you just because they get their kicks out of it. Don't let yourself be distracted by that. Truly, it's not worth it. You're welcome, Lynn. Great to have you on here. Thank you. Okay. Are we finished for the night? Is there anything else? I think this will be recorded. Pete, thank you very much. Wonderful. Appreciate your attendance here. Always a pleasure to see you. My teacher and mentor, and great gratitude for him, you, sir. Good. We've had 35 minutes now. Anything else related to who you let into your inner mind, your inner circle when you want something? Your goals, your desires, your dreams. Hi, Karen. Great, Matt. Thank you. I appreciate it. Always good to see you. Who do you let people in? And perhaps more importantly, who do you not let in? Don't let in people that's going to just piss on your parade the whole time. Obviously, that's you don't need that energy. And social media is it's a breeding ground for negativity and verbal battling, and it's not, you don't need that unless you want that, unless you really want that in your life and you think you get a high off of trying to correct someone if they're wrong or whatever. It's really, there's other things to do with your time and energy. You're here, you're alive, you're breathing, and if you really want to spend it in verbal battle or whatever, that's up to you. But if there's something you want to achieve in your life, you want to get moving on something, you want to create traction, you want to build momentum in your life in an area that's important to you, put as much energy there as you can. Talk about people who, talk with people who genuinely want you to do well, who genuinely want you to be happy, who want you to succeed, and are going to do the best they can. And maybe sometimes, as I mentioned earlier, the best they can is they just say, I hope you succeed. Or they say, sometimes even better, I know someone that can help you. I can't, but maybe the way I can is to refer to you to say, this person over here is an expert in this field. Talk to them. Bob, that's beautiful. I let the folks who I know will hold my heart. Absolutely. When someone really is at a level of self-interest in your happiness, that's a really good thing. It's a really good thing. And those are the people you want around you anyway. If your success doesn't immediately affect anyone else and they still want you to succeed, that's a good thing. And they're going to do what they can. I'm very happy with that. Mary, thanks for coming on. And Rebecca, thank you. Yeah. Obrigado, Alberto. Gracias. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Great. I'm going to wrap it up there. I think that's probably exhausted the topic enough for this 38 minutes. Thank you very much for coming on. I trust it's been valuable. You always obviously know where to reach me on Facebook or email or however it is you reach me. You're welcome to at any time. This is a topic that I do feel passionate about, and I've had some experience in. So I do want to do what I can for you to help you achieve what you want to achieve in your life. I don't need to be on the same page. I don't need to want that for myself. Like if you want to start another business, or good night, Lewin, if you want to change the dynamics of a relationship, if you want to you want to move to a different country, I don't want to move to a different country, but that doesn't mean I don't want you to. So I feel very clean about that, and it's very important for us to be able to be around people that are really great. And Sherry, absolutely, thank you so much. Oh, it's great to see you. Or Marina, Spanish, hey, not bad. I know like 2 words. Pete, thank you. I really appreciate that. Greatly appreciate that coming from you. Thank you very much, Pete. Awesome. Thank you, everybody. I look forward to doing this more. Answering any questions you have. Don't be shy. Like really, I'm very, very happy to do what I can for other people in this area of living how they can, living well, living peacefully, living vibrantly. We all have roadblocks in life. We have things that come up that we're not crazy about, and we need to be in community. And we have people around that are in a position to help, and they want to help if they know you need it. And it doesn't always have to be bad when you reach out. Things can be going really, really well, and they say, Matt, things worked out so well. I'm really excited about how well it's going. I love getting those too. And then you can build on that. That's a really good thing. And Claude, you're very welcome. Kathleen, appreciate that. Thanks so much. Glad you popped on. Okay, everyone. You're welcome, Mary. Have a fantastic evening. Enjoy your sleep, restful sleep. I get fired up on these, so I'm not likely to go to bed anytime soon. So you might see me posting a little bit more. I might write a newsletter or something like that. Okay, everyone. All the best to you, truly. Thanks. Bye.